I don't often make 2 videos in a day, but you know, I just can't watch too many movies and TV shows without going around and just kind of fishing through the news. And I tell you what, one of the channels that I watch on YouTube is Scotty Kilmer, because I'm into mechanics and I love watching his videos on auto maintenance, auto mechanics and everything. And they just happened to have a title, The Death of YouTube and Google. I was like, what the hell is Scotty Kilmer talking about the death of YouTube and Google? And so I just wanted to kind of describe karma, okay? So, you know, YouTube and Google sold their souls to the government and basically bowed down to the machine. We just call it the machine, call it the neocons or the rhino Republicans and the Democrats, and just censored everything. I mean, we can't talk about the jab, we can't talk about COVID, we can't talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. And so now, I mean, and when you do that, they're not going to stop right there. Okay, yeah, you bowed down to the machine, and then the machine says, "Oh, we want more." It's kind of like in life, you know. Let's say that you're a drug dealer, for example, which I guess in my teens, I sold marijuana. Let's just say. So, you know, once your drug overlord says, "Hey, you know, you're not selling enough drugs. I want more money." Well, I just gave you my cut. You know, what the hell? No. You know, now I want a bigger cut, and I want a bigger cut, and I want a bigger cut. So now what Google and YouTube are finding out is that the governments around the world are taking their cut. They're taking their pound of flesh. They're going to keep going after them, because see, what they didn't do was make a stand. And this is what I learned early on in life, is eventually you just say enough is enough. Either you get out of the business and just say, okay, fine, you know, go find somebody else, or you say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. And this is what YouTube, Google, and of course we had Twitter. If Elon Musk hadn't bought Twitter, they were going out of business. I mean, good Lord, they were losing money hand over fist. And so what you find out is, if you bow down before the man, if you take the knee, if you bow to the man, you're going to lose. And so let's just listen to this story from Scotty Kilmer on what Google is going through now, because they bowed to the man. Hey, YouTube, maybe you shouldn't be censoring everybody. Maybe you need to stand up to the man. Hey, you liberal lunatics, you leftist idiots, stand up to the man. Here we go.
Brits are at it now. They are suing Google for unfair advertising. They want £13.6 billion, which is about $16.3 billion, saying there's anti-competitive business Google's doing by taking over the advertising world, right? That's what's wrong with the Brits.
Yeah, hey, they're going to sue Google into oblivion. Oh, Google, maybe you better stand up at this point. Hey, maybe, you know, free speech is a good thing. Maybe freedom of the American people is a good thing. Maybe you shouldn't be standing with the leftist lunatics, the Democrats in Congress. This might be a wake-up call. You're getting sued into oblivion, Google.
How to control everything with government bureaucracies. Let's take an example that maybe if this would have happened, to make a funny movie anyways, right? They started to invent cars, right? They were more efficient than horses. They didn't poop on the ground. You didn't have to feed them, right? You just put gas and drove them around. If we were living in those days, I suppose all the people who sold horses and wagons would get together and they'd sue the inventor of cars, saying, that's anti-competitive. They had a better system and it went through, right? In the case of Google, they got a better system that works. And now these small people, it's not fair to us little guys in advertising, blah, 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 blah. Advertising, right? Everybody knows advertising is baloney. People will say anything. As long as you pay the advertising agency, they'll say just about anything. Brass balls that these people have suing Google in England for billions of dollars. because it's not fair. They do a better job than we do. Please.
Now, understand, I am probably the least likely Google fan on the planet, even though I use Google Fi as my service. Because I have to say, Google, I like Google Fi because it bounces off of the U.S. cellular towers. It bounces off of the T-Mobile towers. And anyway, it uses a lot of different towers. And so I get very good coverage through Google Fi. But, I mean, they spy on everything that you do, and then they give it back to the government. Well, guess what? Now their little charade of taking a knee and bowing down. Let's just listen a little longer.
Help us out. We're just poor little advertising companies, right? The UK, right? The rest of the Europeans, they're joining in too, because, they want money for nothing. Because the European Economic Area, and their headquarters are in the Netherlands, say in 2023, they're going to file their own even bigger billion-dollar suit against Google. And here's the funniest thing. It gets even more layers and layers of lawyers. Listen to this. City litigation firm Humphreys Kerstetter is also acting on the claim, which is being funded by litigation funder Harbor. There's litigation firm on top of litigation firm. They're funding this thing, because of course they want to get their cut of it, right? That's just unbelievable. One litigation funder being funded by another litigation funder to sue Google because they did a good job at what they do. It's too much. To me, it's just too much. They want something for nothing. It's got a problem with Europe. They're living on the laurels. Oh, we're Europe. Oh, we have history. Yeah, history of leeching off of people. That's basically what it comes down to. That's why the European Union is such a pile of garbage. Just a bunch of layabouts wanting to get something for nothing. Look at Spain. Look at Greece. Economically, the disaster areas, right? And why should the other countries have to pay money to these people that aren't doing their job? In this case, they want money for nothing, like the old song goes. Like that Dire Straits song, right? Money for nothing and the chicks are free. In this case, I don't know if the chicks are free, but the money they're trying to get is for nothing, too. They didn't do such a good job. Google did, now they're mad and they want their money. It's a mad world, mad world. Floor 1919 says, got 2015 Dodge Charger.
So that's about it. Anyway, I just, I love watching the world burn, because I guess, all you got to do is believe in Jesus Christ and God, okay, and live a good Christian life. As long as you're doing the right thing, things are going to come out in the end let's just take Nelson Mandela, right? I mean, I guess, good Lord, he was in prison for many years. And then he came out and became president of South Africa, for example. There are many examples if you stand by your principle. Look at Edward Snowden. Oh my God. I mean, I'll give you other examples where it didn't work out. But Edward Snowden, I mean, he's in Russia right now. He's doing extremely well. From what I understand, he's having a very happy life. He stood by his principles, and he tried to help the American people understand that the NSA or the FBI and the CIA, all our three-letter institutions, were corrupt and spying on the American people. And in the end, he ended up okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, would I want to be? Well, I guess right now I'm divorced. All my family's dead. I wouldn't mind being in Russia. I mean, I think well, of course, I don't like the cold. I like it here in Florida where it's nice and warm. But, but at the same time, now you do have Julian Assange. Boy, that guy, I tell you what, he's the new Job in the Bible. I mean, he's been totally abused all the way. Now, he stood by his principles and paid the price by far. So yeah, and of course, a lot of the January 6 people that were standing by their principles, they're still in jail as political prisoners here in the United States. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work out best for you. That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, you can see where when you sell your soul to evil, which is what Google and YouTube did with their censorship of everything. Now you can see thriving businesses coming out in competition to them. You've got Rumble that's standing against YouTube. You've got locals through Dave Rubin and Dan Bongino. I mean, they've established these new businesses, and so they're losing business hand over fist. You got Disney. Disney lost, man, good Lord, billions of dollars going up against DeSantis here in Florida. So I'm just going to tell you that a lot of times, I mean, you can choose to go along with the program and not stand on your principles, and I can understand that. I mean, we all have to make a living. We all have to feed our kids. But at the same time, a lot of times, look at Carrie Lake. I mean, Carrie Lake is a huge example. She stood on her principles. She was a reporter, and they were telling her what she had to say in her reports, because she was part of the mainstream media that just follows the narrative. And she said, this is bullshit, man. I want to report on real news. And so she took a principle, and good Lord, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that she's going to win her cases and still become governor of Arizona. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. But, you know, if nothing else, she's got an extremely bright future. They're saying that in 2024, she'll be running for senator. And certainly she's gotten contributions from all over the United States. So she's not hurting for money right now, and she stood on her principles, right? Kristi Noem out of South Dakota. I mean, look at DeSantis. Oh my God, talk about a success figure. He stood on his principles. So, you know, I think you can, to me, it seems like people that stand on their principles do a lot better than the corporations that want to sell their souls. And well, we can just take the oil industry as an example of that. Okay, so the oil industry for many years was subsidized by the government. They were the golden child. They buried. There were technologies many years ago that came out for electric cars and the technologies that we're seeing now. And they would buy those up, bury them, and just burn the patents and everything. Well, eventually the truth comes out, right? And so now, you know, with Tesla, Elon Musk, and everything that's happened, I'm not saying it's the answer, but I'm saying that all of the things that they tried to bury came out, and now the whole world is against the oil industry. So the karma came around, right? With the tobacco industry. Think about the tobacco industry. You know, back in the 60s, cigarettes were good for you, you know, and eventually we learned that those weren't good. Pharmaceuticals, are they really good for you? You know, I don't know. I accidentally ordered some prostate medication that I'm not even sure I'm going to take, because I'm so anti pharmaceuticals now, because I didn't even know I was supposed to get it. I was trying to order something else, and somehow I screwed up at the VA. I got to call them, and then that's the other thing. I can't even give the damn pharmaceuticals back. Who knows what they cost? Probably $800 for the damn prostate medication. And of course, I'm going to talk to my doctor. Maybe he's going to tell me to take it. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for this video, but I just thought it was very entertaining that the karma comes around. I mean, Google, they're getting sued by everybody now. And YouTube's getting sued by everybody. And it's just because they didn't stand on their principles. If you stood on free speech, if you stood for what was good and right in the world, I think they would have been doing better as corporations than what's going to happen here in the coming future. That's just my prediction. Tell me what you think. Peace out. Stay free. And it's good to live in the free state of Florida. And let's bring up the Boo Dog one last time. Say hi, Boo. Say hi, Boo. Yeah. All right.